Is it just me, or have you noticed that games these days ship with the dumbest AI for enemies and NPCs? It's like the more technology and budget these corporate dev teams have been given, the less effort they've put into making the AI intelligent. And the game I'm about to discuss, which is over 20 years old by the way, is a prime example of this. Most modern games have had bigger budgets, better graphics, and more advanced technology than 2005's first-person psychological horror shooter, F.E.A.R. So why is it that 20 years later, players still talk about F.E.A.R's AI as if it was built yesterday? As we dive deeper into this breakdown, I'll tell you exactly what Monolith Productions did to make the enemies behave more intelligently as they work together to find and eliminate the player. And surprisingly, many modern games to this date still haven't matched its AI design. Now let's jump into this 2000s classic FPS masterpiece. Released in 2005, F.E.A.R, which stands for First Encounter Assault Recon, quickly became famous for its visceral gameplay and engrossing audiovisual presentation. But what I think has really made this game stand the test of time amongst not only FPS shooters but other video games is its intelligent AI system. Players constantly reported being flanked, outsmarted, and pressured in ways that felt more believable than other shooters these days. I don't know what it is about the 2000s, they just had the best games, guys. Tell me in the comments, what do you guys think? Oh, and also subscribe and like for the algorithm because my channel is small, but you guys could change that. To this day, you'll find people praising its AI far above and beyond modern AAA games currently being released. The genius of F.E.A.R wasn't individual intelligence, it was communication. Enemies constantly told the player exactly what they were doing, and that was intentional. You'll hear things like this. The result is that your brain begins constructing a story. You hear a soldier shout that he's moving left, a few seconds later another appears from your side. Suddenly it feels like a coordinated military operation because that's literally what it was. The AI was designed for this exact gameplay outcome. Monolith were able to execute such great AI not purely just because of the AI logic, but also in how they demonstrated it to the player through visuals and audio. Many modern games still have enemies that behave competently and some that, just don't.
Over here! You're the facilities manager?
But they just don't go the extra mile to make the NPCs believable in how you as the player would perceive them to behave, depending on the current situation you're in, the current environment. And because of that, the overall gameplay experience suffers in a lot of modern games. The dev team of F.E.A.R understood something crucial. Good AI isn't just about making decisions, it's about making those decisions visible. Another reason F.E.A.R's AI felt so good was because the levels were built specifically to support it. You'll notice that most encounters happen in offices, warehouses, and corridors. Not because the developers lacked imagination, but because these spaces allowed the AI to shine. And that's what happens when two different arms complement each other. On one side you have the level design, the game design, and on the other side you have the AI logic. Both were built to complement each other. What you'll also notice is that every room contained cover, flanking routes, multiple entrances, multiple sightlines. The AI wasn't trying to solve impossible open worlds. It was operating in carefully designed combat sandboxes. The environment was secretly doing half the work, and that's what happens when you have great game design and level design. And that's a lesson many modern developers still overlook, and it's something I'm crucially focused on as I work on my co-op game, which I will announce more on soon. What I've noticed as a game developer myself and someone who's played video games their whole life is that as modern games focus on realistic models and expansive worlds, really pushing the current consoles, they move more and more away from what a video game actually is. And that's just it, a video game. And fundamental to any game is the AI of the characters, the NPCs that inhabit that world. And as these AAA studios push the boundaries of the technology, the expansive worlds, AI often became broader rather than deeper, which is well supported by what we see and experience today. The result is that we get enemies that can do many things, and maybe a wide variety of enemies, but rarely feel, well, memorable. What F.E.A.R did differently and did so well is it focused on a single goal, making every firefight feel challenging. And I remember playing this game back when I was in college, and I remember progressing level through level, and the enemies just felt more challenging and challenging, especially those big mech dudes. They were like next to impossible at times. And 20 years later, players still remember this feeling, this experience, and that is the key goal. Now when it comes to the AI logic itself, here's the real interesting part. The AI wasn't all that complicated, as it was very well structured. Doing my research on this, there have been many articles and podcasts over the years since F.E.A.R's release, from various sources which actually broke down the system the team used to create such a fun but challenging gameplay experience. And it all comes down to its really well designed AI that adopted a method called Goal-Oriented Action Planning, or GOAP for short. You see, F.E.A.R used what are called finite state machines that are popular amongst many games. However, what set F.E.A.R apart was that it only had 3 states: go to, animate, and use smart object. In a nutshell, the 3 states contained a definition of what the AI should do in every situation based on the state the AI was currently in. And a planning system would then tell the AI what the goals and actions are and let the AI decide the sequence of actions to satisfy those said goals. To the best of my understanding, a simple example would be an NPC moving to a chase state if it saw the player, with its goal being to catch the player. However, it was a bit more detailed than that. Effectively, the end result was that the enemy planning behavior was in real time, which allowed the enemies in F.E.A.R to adapt to the situation at hand. For example, if the player slams a door on a pursuing enemy, the soldier can dynamically replan and decide to fire through the window or flank through an alternate entrance. And ultimately, that is what led to such a challenging gameplay experience and gave me such a sense of accomplishment when I would defeat a squad of soldiers. So you might still have the question, was F.E.A.R's AI actually smarter than modern games being released today? Jokes aside, not necessarily. It was actually quite simple in many ways, as we've discussed throughout the video. However, it was designed significantly better, and that's the key thing. Every system, every voice line, every room, every encounter all work together to supplement and support the AI logic which the enemies used. And over 20 years later, we're still talking about it, and that's probably the strongest proof of all. If you watched the video all the way to the end, I just want to say a big thank you. It really means a lot for the old YouTube algorithm. And speaking of YouTube algorithms, if you enjoyed this breakdown, please let me know by liking and sharing the video. Again, I really appreciate it. And let me know, do you think F.E.A.R's AI still holds up to this day, or do you completely disagree? Let me know in the comments below. And if you have any old games that you'd like me to review that outperform modern titles, and let's be honest here, there's a ton that still outperform the modern titles today, drop them in the comments below and maybe I'll make another breakdown video like this. Thanks again, and as always, drink some coffee, code, and I'll catch you in the next one.